On the agenda tonight, we're going to be taking a look at Lisa Marie Presley, and she's going to be performing Lights Out. Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus, and welcome to another analysis video. First of all, thank you everyone for the requests for this video tonight following the sad news that Lisa Marie Presley has passed away recently. We're going to be listening to Lights Out, and this is from her debut album that was called To Whom It May Concern. Unfortunately, here in the UK, we didn't get her second or third albums. I think this one got to number 52 in the charts, and the single, this song, got to number 16 in our singles chart. But yes, we didn't get a lot of Lisa Marie's music, unfortunately, but we're going to have a listen to it here. As always, there's a link in the description below if you guys want to listen to this the whole way through without me interrupting it, because I will be jumping into it, but let's have a listen. And there we have it. So I decided not to jump into the video in the end, just listen to it in its entirety. The thing about Lisa Marie's voice was that actually it was a lot different to her father's, and that's something that, I mean, she was in a situation where artistically, it's like a catch-22 situation where you've got a father who has one of the most famous voices of all time, the most popular voices of all time, the most distinctive voices of all time. So you've got all of these elements that, as an artist yourself, you've got to put yourself in Lisa Marie's place here and think, right, well, I want to be a singer myself, but I don't want to imitate my father because, every artist is different. Everyone has their own personality, their own voice. And this is what Lisa Marie did. She used her own voice. The critics will say, oh, she hasn't got a voice like her father's or as good as her father's, even though in art there's no such thing as, better and worse. So imagine the alternative, that she tried to copy her father's voice. That would be ridiculous, because then the critics would say, why doesn't she get her own sound, her own personality, her own voice, rather than trying to copy her father? So this is what I mean. It's a catch-22. But she went in her own direction, and she was a creative individual. She wrote the lyrical content to pretty much all of the songs on her album, so she was included in that writing process. Like I said, it's going to be a very difficult situation to just be the daughter of Elvis, and the thing is, she didn't choose to be the daughter of Elvis. So, and a lot of people might say, oh yeah, but the only reason that she's got that career, or she had that career, she was up on stage, was because her father was Elvis. But that's not her fault. She's just doing what she wants to do. So we're just going to be listening out for a few things to do with her voice that makes it unique, makes it different. First of all, her vibrato. We know from our vocal analysis that we've done on Elvis Presley that he had that very wide, dramatic vibrato. But with Lisa Marie, she's got this really subtle, more mainstream contemporary vibrato that is in there, but it's really subtle. We'll have a quick listen to the first verse. So straight away we've got that you up, and that tiny wobble. And even at the end of the line, another thing that Lisa Marie did a lot of was go into that vocal fry. So at the end of a line, when she go behind, there's that kind of sound at the end of the vocal phrases. And listen out for it, because those noises are just the vocal cords relaxing and her going down into behind and breaking off. And that is a huge part of the cry in the voice that her father had, but I don't think he went quite as much into this sound, this style of going into vocal fry so much. But let's listen out for it. Even there, she's right on that edge. Leave you. And when you listen out for it, you can see that it's in there all the time. I mean, pretty much. Even there with it, she's just leaving it in there. But the thing is, this is in the verse, so it means that dynamically we're going to be a little bit held back because we've still got to get into the chorus. When we do get into the chorus, there'll be less of this because you're now, or Lisa Marie will be leaning into her vocal a little bit more to get that vocal cord connection, because the notes are going to be a little bit higher, so she'll just be pushing into it a little bit more. There, behind. You can hear when she connects those vocal cords fully. And see how now that vocal fry's gone, because we're in the chorus, we're higher up, she's connecting the vocal cords more. So you get that light and shade between the relaxed sound of vocal fry in the verse and now the connected sound in the chorus. And she's still got that covered sound to, you know, that's a little bit nasal, because she's still got that covered sound, but she's got her own vibrato on the end. So it's not an imitation, and that's the point. And listen to the way that she has that exhalation at the end of the phrase. So even when she's just going, yeah, you can hear that, yeah, that kind of breath at the end, just putting in that little bit of expression. This is just something that you tend to get in mainstream contemporary vocals when you're leaning on the diaphragm and you've got that connection. There's that little build-up of pressure. And as soon as you finish your vocal phrase, there's air that comes out because it's been held back behind the vocal cords with, you know, that compression where you've got, and you can hear how, as soon as you let go of that, that's that, you know, exhalation of air. But we perceive that as expression when we hear it. It engages you more because of that sound, rather than just going, yeah, 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 and just stopping the line, yeah. There's nothing really in there, but if you go, yeah, there's something different about that. Yeah, it's very difficult to explain what is different, why we perceive that, and why we hear that differently, to then just something that sounds uninteresting to then having that breath in there. It puts more expression into it. But we'll listen on a bit more. No! Back into vocal fry, leading into the verse. And there, I didn't know. She started clean. I didn't know. And then going to that really subtle vocal fry at the end. And let me just point out the harmony vocal that we've got as well, because Lisa Marie's harmonizing with herself and with that harmony line, because I mean, this is just a video for the song and it does say music video in the description, so I don't think people are thinking that this is a fully live performance. If you have vocal fry in harmony vocals, it's just going to sound weird because vocal fry isn't a note, so you can't really harmonize with something that's just like that. And it doesn't matter where you start going na 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 na. If the vocalist is doing that behind you, that's going to take too much attention away from that lead vocal. So those harmony vocals that Lisa Marie has done in the studio have got to be clean. So it's not as if she doesn't have control of this vocal fry. She's putting it in when she wants it for the lead vocal and then singing clean with those harmony vocals in the background. The other thing that we have from a technique perspective is this little throwaway line that we have, and it's kind of like, oh yeah, like that, yeah. So she's actually hitting a few notes as she descends there, but you know, it's very relaxed. I mean, it's not like that. I'm pointing it out by obviously making it clear as to the notes that are being hit from a technique perspective vocally, but it's more throwaway in the performance. Behind, that kind of thing. just going to jump in here because it's really interesting to listen to the way that she delivers her voice with that vibrato. And I think it's just the case that it's her natural vibrato. It doesn't sound something that is, worked on or contrived. It's just in there, that really subtle vibrato. In exactly the same way that Elvis, when he sang, he wasn't putting on that vibrato. That's just how he did it. And that's why it was so unique. And I think it's great that Lisa Marie went in her own direction. And you're always going to get critics, especially people who can't do it themselves, who then say, oh, well, that's not very good. Well, I always have the opinion of, if you think it's not very good, then you do it. Let's see how you sing, and then we can judge and say whether we like it or not. Just talking about her career in a general sense, and the way that people will say, oh, well, she only had that opportunity because of who her father was. You can argue both sides of the story, that because of who her father was, it meant that she was always going to be painted with that brush when people listen to her voice. Nobody can listen to her voice independently and without prejudice because of who her father was. You've got to consider the fact as well that Lisa Marie, when she was 25, she inherited the whole Elvis Presley estate is worth $100 million, something like that, which was largely thanks to Priscilla for doing such a fantastic job on the business side of things. And when you consider as well that Elvis, during his career, was really taken for a ride and exploited by Colonel Tom Parker, in order to turn things round, Priscilla certainly has that business acumen in order to run things as a business. It is so easy in the artistic world. When you consider that music is an art form, so many artists do get taken for a ride in the music industry, and it has happened since the beginning of the industry, still happens now. So the fact that Priscilla managed to turn it around and did such a great job, it meant that Lisa Marie had this fortune that she was the sole heir of when she was 25 years of age. So there's that side of things, but also you can argue that, again, that's not going to allow you to be seen in the same light of other artists who don't have this background. So you're always going to be up against that. So not exactly the best start to 2023, considering the fact that 2 days ago, we had a video on Jeff Beck following the sad news of his passing, and now Lisa Marie Presley. She was only 54 years of age, so still relatively young. But thank you guys for requesting tonight's video. I hope you have enjoyed it, and I will see you guys at the next one.